What is up, guys? Today is Monday, April 8th, and this is my WrestleMania 29 review. This pay-per-view was $69.95 for high definition, so right off the bat, very pricey. We knew heading into this event, I should say, the card really was pretty predictable. I mean, I predicted there was only one match I got wrong. And when I get to the review, technically I didn't even get it wrong. So I'm just going to run through the card. I'm going to just give my thoughts on each match. The opening match, see if I can find it, was it was the 3-on-3 Randy Orton, Big Show, and Sheamus versus The Shield. Good match. I don't want to say great match. I'm going to say good match. We know The Shield. We know how great The Shield is. I projected that the Shield would prevail, and they did. I don't think that this match was as good as the Team Hell No and Ryback match at, I forget what pay-per-view it was at. TLC maybe? I don't know. Yeah, TLC. This match was not as strong as that, but you kind of figured that because the Big Show's really boring in my opinion. I projected that the Shield would win with a Randy Orton heel turn, when in reality it was Big Show who turned heel at the end. Actually, Sheamus was going to tag in the Big Show, and Randy Orton blind tagged him, hit the RKO. This was actually the coolest part of the match. Rollins flew off the top rope, Orton hit the RKO, and then Reigns hit him with a spear, and then Ambrose came in for the pin. And Big Show just stood there and watched the whole thing. Big Show was obviously upset that he didn't get the pin. He was upset that he didn't get the tag. So he kind of just stood there, and then when the match was over, him and Randy Orton started bickering. Sheamus tried to get into the middle of it. Big Show knocked out Sheamus and then knocked out Randy Orton. So I clearly think it was a heel turn for Big Show. Overall, good match. Not a great match. Not the strongest we've seen from the Shield, but you can blame the fact that they weren't facing ringmasters like Daniel Bryan and Ryback. Again, guys, some of these matches might not be in order, but I'll save the good ones for last. Let's go to the Intercontinental Championship match. I didn't watch this match. This was on the pre-show. I didn't watch the pre-show. Miz won. Shocker. WWE loves the Miz. Big deal. Okay. Ryback versus Mark Henry. This match was only like 10 minutes long. I thought this was going to be at least a 15, 20-minute match. No, it was only 10 minutes, not 20 minutes, but around 12 to 15 minutes. It was only like 10 minutes long. The match itself was good. I thought it was really cool. I thought the ending was pretty unique. Mark Henry won the match. Ryback set him up for shell shocked, and then Mark Henry grabbed the ropes and fell on Ryback, thus knocking Ryback out and pinned him 1, 2, 3. And then it showed that Ryback needed medical attention, so they brought the stretcher guys out, and then Mark Henry kicked them all out of the ring and was going to hit the world's strongest slam, and then all of a sudden Ryback hit a meat hook clothesline out of nowhere and hit him with shell shock. So I don't understand, if you're going to have Ryback get the last word, why don't you just have Ryback win the match? Like, I projected Ryback to win the match. I think everyone projected Ryback to win the match. Henry got the pin, but it's clear that Ryback got the upper hand. Match was okay. Jericho versus Fandango. This was a short match. This match wasn't very long at all. It was just pretty much Jericho taking it to Fandango the entire match. Just squashing Fandango, and then at the very end, Fandango wins. Not a great match, but, for Johnny Curtis's first match in WWE was pretty good, but it wasn't great for Jericho. But everyone knew that Jericho was going to pass the torch on to Fandango. That's kind of the purpose of bringing guys back like Chris Jericho. So he probably won't come back for a while, and then they'll have him push someone else, unless they want to continue this feud with Fandango. But I think this is just a little push, for an older guy to get a younger guy over. Again, I don't think anyone projected Chris Jericho to win this match. Divas title match, Caitlyn versus Layla. I don't think that happened. I don't know. I'm on a weird website here, so maybe they just that was a projected match. I don't think there was a Divas match. There could have been. I don't know. I mean, because I was flipping back between that and the CMA, so I'm not sure. Tag team match, Team Hell No versus Ziggler and Langston. This was a pretty good match. This is a pretty good tag team match. Again, not very short. All the matches here were kind of short, except for the three big ones. Honestly, guys, I predicted that Ziggler and Langston were going to win. I had Ziggler leaving WrestleMania 2 belts. But Team Hell No, I personally thought that Team Hell No was going to split, but they didn't. They prevailed for the victory. I don't really remember how they won. You know, it's kind of forgettable match. It was a good match, but nothing special. Biggie Langston, he's a pretty good wrestler, actually. So that was my first time actually seeing him in the ring. He's not bad. And, Ziggler was just selling moves like a champ. So it was good. It won. Daniel Bryan hit the flying headbutt. Flying goat. It was alright. World Championship match. Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger. Well, before the DUI that Jack Swagger got, in real life, I personally would have thought that Jack Swagger would have won this match. I mean, he won the Elimination Chamber. It was obvious he was getting a push. They brought him back as this monster heel, but I think as a punishment to him, they made him lose to Del Rio. I kind of like the whole story with Del Rio. They kind of put that impromptu storyline at the end that Del Rio was the first Mexican. This would be the first Mexican World Heavyweight Champion defense in WrestleMania history. I thought it was good. There was a little side things with Ricardo and Zeb Coulter I thought was pretty cool, but ultimately Jack Swagger tapped out to Del Rio. I was expecting Ziggy. No cash-in. None. Really, WWE? Really. This was the one thing about the pay-per-view that ticked me off. Other than the fact that it was $70 and most of the matches were garbage, the fact that Ziggler has had the Money in the Bank since July. I projected Ziggler leaving with 2 belts. None. Ziggler leaves WrestleMania empty-handed, 0 belts. I don't understand it, WWE. I mean, everyone wanted Ziggler to cash it in. It just, it doesn't make sense to me. He's had the Money in the Bank. He's been carrying around that freaking briefcase since July. And they asked him, they said, when do you want to cash in? He said, I want to cash in at WrestleMania. But there's a tradition that, not a tradition, but no one has ever cashed in the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. So I guess they wanted to continue that going. Brock Lesnar versus Triple H. Well, you knew there was going to be blood in this match. Because it's pay-per-view, it's no holds barred. There were chairs, steel steps, and sledgehammer. That was it. No tables. The match itself, I don't think it was as good as SummerSlam. I'm going to be honest. I really don't think it was as good as SummerSlam. SummerSlam, I believe, was also no holds barred. And it just, I don't know. I really didn't think it was that great. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't nearly as good as SummerSlam. But anyway, Triple H does the pedigree to Lesnar on the steel steps. God wins. Triple H wins. Shocker of the century. Do you really think they're going to have Triple H lose 3 WrestleMania matches in a row? Highly doubtful. So, Triple H gets the win. Again, no surprises here. The only surprise was a negative surprise that Ziggler didn't cash in. And the fact that Mark Henry beat Ryback, even though at the end Ryback got the upper hand. So technically, in my book, Ryback won, as far as I'm concerned. CM Punk versus The Undertaker. The streak continues. Obviously. The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. The Undertaker will never lose at WrestleMania. No matter who he faces, he'll never lose. Maybe Cena. Maybe. But doubtful. This match was good. This was you know what? This match was great. This was in my opinion the best match on the card. You got The Undertaker, always provides a show at WrestleMania, and you have a ring general like CM Punk. Fantastic match. I mean, it was a really good match. They incorporated the urn. I really thought that when Punk, because Undertaker had him up for the last ride, and then Paul Heyman handed Punk the urn, and Punk hit the Undertaker on the back with the urn, I thought that, because it was ironic, I thought that was the end of the streak. But I knew that once the Undertaker kicked out of that, I knew that the streak would continue, and it did. But, great match. Best match on the card, hands down. And the moment we've all been waiting for, the WWE Championship match. John Cena versus The Rock. Twice in a lifetime for the WWE Championship. Well, I will start off by saying this. Oh, before I get to this, there was supposed to be a 4-on-4 mixed match with, they call themselves Tons of Funk, Tensai and Clay, and the Funkadactyls versus Rhodes Scholars and the Bella Twins. This match got scratched from the card, and a lot of people were saying, is that really right for WWE to do that, because they were running low on time and they wanted Cena and Rock to get the spotlight, obviously. And honestly, on a personal level, they got their WrestleMania moment taken away from them. But if you're going to have enough time, because here's what happened. The actual match ended at 10:45. John Cena versus The Rock ended at 10:45. And you could tell that they were dragging it out. So, like, honestly, they could have fit that Tons of Funk match in there. Because let's be honest, it would have been a squash match. It would have been a squash match. It would have taken 5 to 7 minutes tops. They could have fit it in. But they were afraid they were going to run out of time, so they give Cena and The Rock more time than they needed. The match was the actual match was 30 minutes long. They started the match at 10:15. The match is 30 minutes long. It ended at 10:45. So let me go through the match. Basically, it wasn't a match. It was how many finishers can we kick out of, because that's what it was. I think the actual makeup of the match was better than last year, because The Rock was you could tell The Rock's in a lot better shape. The Rock wasn't winded as much. There were a few kind of oh my god moments, for instance, and again, there's spoilers in here, guys, so whatever. For instance, there was one part where Cena had The Rock out, and Cena took off the wristband and threw it, and was going to do the people's elbow. And like the mistake he made last year, he vowed he wouldn't make the same mistake twice. He bounced off the rope, The Rock stood up, and Cena held on to the ropes, like Cena lured The Rock in. And then Cena went like this, you can't see me. Rock swung and missed. Cena picked him up. F you. Rock kicked. I'm sorry. Attitude adjustment. Rock kicked out. The match continues. There were a few other kind of cool things. Cena did the rock bottom to The Rock. That was kind of cool. But the actual back and forth exchanges of the match, it started out very, very slowly. And even slower than last year's. So the beginning of the match, last year's was better. The middle of the match, this year's was better. The actual ending, last year had a better ending. This year's ending sucked. They kicked out of 86 different finishers. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So then The Rock's waiting for Cena to get up. Cena elbows him. Attitude adjustment, 1, 2, 3, over. The actual ending sucked. I'm so angry about the finish, was terrible. Cena wins the championship. Again, no surprises here. There wasn't one surprise there wasn't one pleasant surprise this entire night. So for $70, this pay-per-view was not worth it at all. End of the match, Cena and The Rock shake hands and hug, raise each other's hands. The torch has clearly been passed. So this kind of sets up a thing, maybe sorry, draw a blank. This sets up maybe a possible rubber match at Extreme Rules or next year's WrestleMania. I don't know, but the feud has ended because they shook hands and hugged and did their little shit. So an overall, out of 10, I give this WrestleMania a 7. It was good, but it wasn't great. It's as simple as that. Out of the, 9 or 10 matches that were there, 9, 3 of them were good. So that's my review, guys. Wow, it's a long video, 15 minutes. That was my review, guys. Comments are welcome down below. If you see, if you like what you see, you can subscribe to me. And yeah, I'm going to try to make some more wrestling reviews. Shout out to Off the Rope Show. I don't know where you guys have been, but hopefully you come back. I love your reviews, and I definitely want to know your input on this WrestleMania. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching.